What's going on, Yankees fans? AGP back again from the Big Blue in the Bronx YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Better day than it was yesterday, but you guys haven't already, go check out my last video. It was the video on my basic top 10 for this upcoming draft, who the Giants should select and who they should trade down with. But in this video, we're talking about the Yankees. We're talking about them coming off a 2-game set with the Atlanta Braves. Obviously, I have my takeaways on the left and the bullpen stats on the right. So let's get right into it. Game 1 was on 420. I know everybody's going to say nice. But it was a pitcher's duel for the first couple of innings. It was Tyon and Charlie Morton working at their best. Didn't really find anything wrong. Tyon, pretty solid outing, I have to say. You know, this has to be, if not his best start as a Yankee. Yeah, he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. I think that's 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and a 5.40 ERA. And, you know, in the past, we could say he was shaded by all of the bad offense, but in the past, he's had some bad outings. But this one, I really feel that, you know, it was his good outing and probably his best of the season. If it's not, it's his second best of the season. But once again, it was a pitcher's duel for the first few innings. Urshela hits a game-tying homer. Obviously, that's key. Urshela's not really a home run hitter, but he comes in the clutch there and ties the game at 1 in the bottom of the 5th. The bullpen held the lead and gave the Yankees a chance to win. Definitely agree with that. Ludge, Green, Wilson, Loaisiga, and Chapman. The runs came at the bottom of the 8th inning, so Loaisiga ended up getting his second win, and Aroldis Chapman getting his second save of the season. But, you know, don't deter the fact that Green, Wilson, and Ludge did good jobs as well. Wilson got out of the jam against the Braves lineup in the, I believe it was the top of the 7th. Chad Green had the first part of that inning, and then Wilson finished it out. Very nice outing for the bullpen. Hicks scored on a wild pitch. That was the first go-ahead run for the Yankees while Frazier was up at bat. Then I think Frazier got on base, and Mike Ford walked in a run. But 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Obviously, that is probably why the first couple innings seemed like a pitcher's duel, because we were just not doing anything. And this, obviously, you'll see, because in the last couple of recaps, I referred to runners in scoring position. But this kind of affects this game. It does, it doesn't. But obviously, as I said, you know, the first couple innings were a pitcher's duel. And because Charlie Morton's a good pitcher, obviously, he's had some, you know, good starts against us. And then, obviously, late in the game, we scored. We were 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And lineup struck out only 6 times, which I actually am impressed with, to say the least. But obviously, the next game, runners in scoring position is actually, I think they're 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. But we ended up losing that game. You know, much worse effort, much worse just all-around game for the Yankees rather than this game where we actually won. So let's go to the second game. If I can pull this out real quick. So let's go to the second game, and this is not a good game. The Yankees, after this game, seem to be on a consistent streak of not having the greatest pitching, and when your starter doesn't give you 7 innings and 15 strikeouts, the offense tends to slack a little bit. Bad decision putting Nick Nelson in after Kluber, in my opinion. He allowed a bases-juiced walk. That's not the only reason. I just think Nelson has not proved himself in the big leagues. I mean, last year he was okay before that one Phillies game in the doubleheader. But here he's really struggled this season. And the Yankees ended up calling up Domingo Germán today before the Indians game. And, you know, they sent down Brooks Kriske. I'm like, you know, yes, Brooks Kriske, as you see at the top right of your screen, did allow a run. It was a home run, I think, to Austin Riley. But, you know, Nick Nelson has been up here longer. He made the roster, and he's been far worse. I mean, why don't you get somebody like Addison Russ on the 40-man? I don't know who's on the 40-man right now, and I probably have to take a look at it, but there's probably better options than Nick Nelson. You know, we can't have the bullpen and these small pieces and these small, you know, home runs and stuff like that. We can't have that deteriorate, you know, the effort in the game. And, you know, I'm not saying it's all Nick Nelson's fault that this game went awry, but he's been, you know, pretty bad out of the bullpen to start the year. No spark on offense kind of counters with the 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. The Yankees could not do anything. Ian Anderson totally shut him out for the first 7 innings of the game. Then the bullpen took it on and obviously allowed a run at the bottom of the 9th inning. That was a Clint Frazier, I believe, RBI single. Yankees can't score with bases juiced in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Yes, it's 2 outs, but DJ LeMahieu grounded out to third. That ended the inning. And with bases juiced, say it all the time, you have to make do of your opportunity. You really do. And, the one play I'm going to reflect on right now, I forget what inning it was, but it was a little chopper. And Gleyber Torres claims he didn't know if it was fair or foul. That's a load of crap in my opinion. And something's got to light this team up. Someone has to light a fire under somebody's ass for this team to start, doing what they regularly do, and that's start winning. I know we all talk about, they start out slow, but this is probably worse than years before. And the fact that we have a 205 batting average and we're second worst in the league in that ranking is not good. And the Cubs, they're worst in that ranking. Meanwhile, they just put up, 16 runs against the Mets yesterday? Exactly, my point. But someone's got to light a fire. And Aaron Boone, saying, I'm going to talk to Gleyber. Like, you know what? If we're not giving out punishments in the first part of the season, if we're not being strict on these players, why we got to do it now? I mean, there's going to be some level where the players say, listen, you were not giving us punishments at the beginning of the season, but now you're giving us punishments. It's the same crap. And that's what you're going to get with these type of analytical managers. And I'm not saying, Aaron Boone's a bad guy. I'm not saying he killed anybody or whatever. But what I'm saying is the Yankees hired Aaron Boone. They bought the goods on him to be a more lenient manager. And this is what you're going to get. When your team doesn't score, you're not going to expect him to fire up the clubhouse. It has to be the players. And once again, something I always reflect to, especially going back to the argument that we had on Monday, or at least the conversation we had on Monday, it has to come down to the players at some point. It can't just be on the coach. It just can't be on Brian Cashman. It just can't be on Brian Cashman. It has to be on the players as well because they have to execute. And I say this with every sport. If Dave Gettleman brings somebody in, they have to exceed expectations or at least go up to those expectations or else they're going to be a bad player. Yes, it's on the GM for making the bad move, but the player was good before they came to the Giants. You get what I'm saying. It has to be on the player at some point. But we had more hits than Atlanta, at least one more hit than Atlanta, but we still failed to produce. I mean, this is the same stuff. And this video is shorter than my other recaps, A, because it's 2 games, B, because it's the same stuff. And I apologize to all my viewers that I'm, coming out with the same stuff and everything like that, but it's the same stuff. The pitching allows 2 runs and the offense can't even catch up, but the bullpen ends up giving 1 to 2 runs, and it makes the game even further and further away, makes it more difficult to come back in the game. And once again, someone needs to light a fire under somebody's ass. That's just the way it has to go. It has to go like that, and the players are not going to pick it up themselves because the way they're playing, the way, the situational baseball, the way they're playing, the way the situational baseball is going right now, they're not going to pick it up themselves. It's going to be a factor of if, let's just say, I don't know, who's on the mound next, I don't know, but let's just say Garrett Cole starts and he gives up 2 runs automatically through 5 innings, and the offense gets down immediately because they're down, and they don't end up scoring, and the games end up lost from there. They automatically have the energy, lowered because they're automatically down. Meanwhile, the whole center of the argument is the fact that the offense has sucked this entire year. You guys get what I'm saying. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Guys, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Turn those notification buttons on so you get notified when a live stream pops or a video drops. Boys in the Big Apple might be on Wednesday next week. I'll notify you guys on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see what guests we have on because I will be away Monday. I really don't feel like doing the podcast on Monday from my discrete location because, not this location, but my discrete location because it would require me and Luca to be in the same room, and I don't have a problem with that, but the point is that the mics could interfere, and that's not a good technological issue to have, especially when you're not that tech savvy in terms of microphones and stuff like that. But Wednesday would be a very exciting day because we would be live 4 days in a row, depending on schedules, obviously, but Wednesday, obviously, and I'm saying this right now, as of right now, in terms of what it could be. I'm not saying it's going to be Wednesday for sure, but we will be live 4 days in a row. Thursday's draft day 1, Tuesday's draft day 2, draft day 3 is on Saturday. So it's going to be an interesting week for you guys, especially the NFL viewers. If you're a Yankee viewer and you come out to my Yankee streams, ask me a question about the Yankees. We'll answer the questions. But anyway, that's pretty much it here, guys. Thank you for coming out. Peace out. See y'all later.